name is Jamie Allen Bishop with Soul Heart Collaboration for the Infinite Possibilities Retreat in October 4th, 5th, and 6th, hybrid style in Scottsdale, Arizona, and online here on Zoom. So we are going to take a few minutes to chit chat with one of our speakers, Sandy Latour. Sandy lives in Phoenix, Arizona. Yes?
Yes, in the Phoenix area.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
And she and I go back, 15 years already. I can't even believe that it's been that long. But Sandy is an amazing woman, all about confidence, mindset, and taking your business to the next level. So Sandy, tell us, so glad you're here. First of all, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're about.
Sure. Where do we want to start? I currently am a business owner. I've been in business since 2005. Prior to that, I worked as a manager for a financial institution. And it was one of those jobs where I was really good at it, but I really did not want to do it anymore. I was a single mom when I was younger, and I had my daughter at that point, obviously, and I was just not seeing her. So I moved into entrepreneurship so I could be home with her, be more involved in her life. She's now out of the house. We are empty nesters at this point. I'm married at this point. So she's out of the house. She's married. She's got her own house, all of the things. And we're still just kind of living life now and young enough to be able to go out and do all the things that we wanted to do when we were younger, but we were broke. So that's what we're doing at this point.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good for you. So, you and I were talking before we jumped on here about that irritating thing called, ideal client. We never want to exclude anybody, but it sounds like you would make a perfect coach for somebody kind of in transition out of corporate America and or corporate internationally. I mean, who knows? But also maybe somebody who's potentially an empty nester.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think it's the transitions, right? Like people, and I think that's a really good point because right now I'm transitioning into a new business for my current business. And it's a little unsettling. People get really comfortable in what they know and what they've been doing for a really long time. And to do that transition, all of a sudden you're starting from scratch and you don't know what your Monday is going to look like anymore. You don't know what your next month or next quarter is going to look like. And that's a lot for people. And so I think that's a lot to overcome in people's minds and sometimes why they don't make the jumps when they know they should.
Yes, yes. So tell us a little bit more about those jumps because I have a feeling I know where you're going with that, but let's share it with our audience.
Gosh, I've done a lot of jumps. I became a single mother by choice after some circumstances. I was young. I was a teenager when I had my daughter. So I did the transition of going on to college and not living the life of a quote unquote stereotypical teenage mother. Then my husband and I now decided to move across country, knowing nobody, having no job set up. And so we just dropped everything and left and moved to Arizona 2010 in the time where it was not a good market. It was not a good time to do something like that. And we did it. I think you sometimes have to be a little delusional to do some of this stuff. You can't play it safe, right? Same thing when I transitioned out of my corporate job to become a business owner. I went into network marketing and I remember speaking to people who were business owners and they said to me, "You're crazy, don't do this." They said, "There's just no way you're going to run out of people. You can't run out of people. Like that's just not reality. You cannot run out of people." So I've done those transitions. And now I've been in this same business since 2005. So I'm just about 19 years now. And now transitioning into a new type of business that's completely my own. So I think that there is there's definitely some trepidation, and I've been through that. I've been through that cycle of, gosh, I don't know if I'm making the right decision. I don't know if this is smart to do. I don't know if this is a secure future. But at the same time, you have to trust yourself and you have to trust that your gut is guiding you to where you should be. And you're going to have changes in your life. You don't, just because you got somewhere one time does not mean you need to stay there forever.
Yes, yes. I love that. Make a decision and take the path that leads to the next path. What I hear you saying, or what I'm imagining rather, when you're talking about this transition and this, propelling you forward, you have always been a coach. It's just that you've been a coach in a different, kind of with a different twist on that idea. So you're really taking all this 20, 19 years of knowledge and putting it into something that is more your own, or more helping specifically people in business or entrepreneurs trying to grow their businesses and whatnot. So honestly, I think it's the perfect exact place for you to be right now, just having known what you do and how well you do it. So yay, I'm excited for your future. The question, or what I'm imagining, is this like wave. So it's almost like you're riding this wave of, every wave is different. Every wave, has its own little unique set of twists and turns, and the way that it crashes over, or the way that it folds, and the outcome of riding it, right? But at the same time, it's all kind of familiar as well. So how is it right? How is it going with that, as far as transitioning from one business to the next?
I'm still kind of straddling. And I've said that throughout my life, is that I've straddled until I'm ready to just go. And I think that that's pretty typical for some people. I am not the person that just jumps in head first and goes. I think there's a place for those people, and I have such admiration for those people. And that is just not me. I have a little bit more control freak in me than that. So I tend to straddle a little bit until I say, okay, yes, I'm ready to do this even more. And then I gradually taper one and move into the other. Even when we were moving to Arizona, we had that planned. And I laugh at the story, but it was in 2009, we had sold our house, and we were, I don't know, 10 days from closing. And I had a nervous breakdown in the grocery store. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And so we scrambled. We found a place to rent, and we stayed for an extra year. And then I was in that space going, okay, yeah, I should have just done this. So I think that that's just my MO, and that's what makes me comfortable. And I think that that's what's important for people, is that you have to know yourself. You have to know what your tolerance is, what your level of, I'm okay with this, I'm ready to move now, knowing that you're still going to make the move, but giving yourself the space and the grace to come to terms with it and accept it, rather than just diving in head first and going, oh, this was a mistake, I shouldn't have done this.
I love that. I love that. The word that jumped out at me was the word grace. I swear that was my word last year. Just everything done in grace, and giving myself the grace to make mistakes, and not hold myself to this perfection thing that us Virgos have a tendency to hold ourselves to that. Ugh.
I think the thing to remember, and this is something I say to my daughter, I say to my husband, I say to my clients, everything is fixable. Everything's fixable. So if you don't like something, you can change it. You're not stuck forever. There's nothing that you are cemented into forever. So you can always fix stuff.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's absolutely true. So just to shift gears a little bit, let's talk about some of the fun stuff. Like, where have you traveled? If you've traveled, I know you have. And where would you like to travel that you haven't traveled yet?
Let's see, where have I? Throughout the United States, Mexico, Caribbean, and a little tiny bit in Europe. I'd like to go more into Europe. I've done London and Paris at this point. I would really like to go to Greece. That's probably next on my list. I have always wanted to go to Egypt. I would love to do that. I would love to do an African safari. Tahiti is on my list. Maldives is on my list. Abu Dhabi. I mean, I've got the range, and unfortunately, I don't know. I've got all these places I would love to get to, and it's this little thing called work. So we still gotta.
I know, right? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You pick one for the next decade, and
well,
and
that's
into
the thing.
the plans.
We go every year. We travel a couple of times a year, but the big trips, you've got to plan those out a little bit.
Absolutely. 100%, 100%. And I love that. I love that you travel, and I love that you engage with other cultures. That's one of the things that was really important to me when coming up with these retreats, was to bring together this global audience from around the world, because it's so important for us to get to know each other and be less afraid.
And just understand. I mean, there's so much you can learn from other people.
Exactly. Yay. Love that. Love that. All right. So, what's another fun question? So, like, when you think about your wardrobe, what is the most fun piece in your wardrobe that
Most
you like
fun.
when you put it on, you just feel like you are hot shit?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I've got I love this dress. It's long, it's all the way to the floor, it's fitted, it's not like skin tight, but it's fitted. And it crisscrosses both in the front and in the back. So yeah, it's fun and it's not revealing at all. It's just the way that it's designed. If you undo the tie, it would be, but it's
Right.
just the way that it's just different. And I love anything backless. I love backless pieces. I am not like I will wear wherever, but the backless I think is just I think that's a great look.
So sexy, right? Awesome, awesome, awesome. So when it comes to your topic, let's get
Okay.
back to the retreat. When it comes to your topic, tell us a little bit about that and why you chose that topic of.
So I'm the topic I have is overcoming obstacles in your life and making the choices to change things when you know that you need to change things. And the reason I came up with this is over the years, I've talked to so many people that do not like where they live, what they do for work, their situations, their whatever it is. They don't like it, but they're not doing anything to change it. And so my thought process is okay, either you don't like it, you don't not like it enough because otherwise you would change it, right? Or there's a fear involved. There's a like a stuck feeling for people. And understanding that, yes, we're all going to have circumstances, we're all going to have things happen, but ultimately, it's our choices that have led us to the life that we live in this current moment. And you can always make different choices. You might not be able to change the world or the circumstances that aren't in your control, but you have those choices to make the changes. You don't have to live in a stereotype. You don't have to stay in a situation that could be detrimental to you. You have the choice to go, and it might be hard. It might be. But I think a lot of the time it's more difficult in our minds than it is in reality. Our
Yeah.
minds are there to protect us and to make us feel safe and not to put us in a place where our brain feels a little scared.
Love that. And so very true. So very true. And so needed, coaches like you to be able to help people get through times like that and make the leap of faith that's right for them, but also with the support necessary to get to the other side of that seemingly valley. But oftentimes I agree with you. It's not, it seems a lot harder than it is. It's just making the decision kind of in the moment, right?
It's always bigger in your head than it actually is.
I know, right? We can talk ourselves into and out of
Uh-huh.
just about anything.
Everything, everything.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So if somebody were to come to this retreat, why did you say yes to speaking at this particular retreat?
I think there's a variety of viewpoints, right? There's going to be a variety of things that are going to resonate with different people. And to have a grouping of so many different topics, of so many people's different backgrounds in one place, I mean, it's almost overwhelming in a lot of ways to say there's so many different classes and so many different speakers. But it's going to touch on something for everyone, right? Every single person in that room is going to resonate with something and somebody in that room, whether it's me or whether it's somebody else. They're going to find something that they click with. And no, you're not going to walk away and implement every single thing that you hear from single speaker. That's just not reality. But if you can take two, three, four different things, those little chunks, and walk away and implement those in your life, and then you do it again, maybe next year or the next time that something like this happens, that's where growth happens. That's where change occurs. And that's where you're going to see those big changes happen in your life and expand you to a different place.
Love, love, love. That's exactly why this retreat is happening. So if you're looking for support, if you're looking for change, if you're looking for just personal or professional improvement, this is definitely the right place to be. The Infinite Possibilities Retreat, Scottsdale, and over here on Zoom, October 4th, 5th, and 6th, 2024. So if you're looking for tickets for that, you can absolutely reach out to Sandy Latour at sandylatour.com or go to soulheartcollaboration.com and you can find tickets there as well, but go to Sandy first. All right. So thank you, Sandy. Any last words of wisdom?
Hope we see everybody there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Well, thank you, and look forward to hearing what you have to share on your given day. I can't remember which day that is, but
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. Fantastic. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll see you soon, and yeah, thanks for joining us.
See you then.